What is going on, everybody? This is my research area. Now, in this game that I restarted a while ago, I just wanted to show you where I got to. So for posterity, it is there. Because I'm going to be starting a new game and posting it on YouTube. So this is my research. Here is my interstellar logistics towers, inputting and exporting all of the matrix cubes. And there's my research on the white ones, and it is going like crazy. Now the way I set this up, because you need 3 on each side and then 1 to take the white cubes out, is I just have the white cubes filtering into the research labs there. So those are getting filtered right into the research directly, and they're pulling from the 3 conveyor belts on each side. Of course, there's logistics drones taking them to and from. And now, as you can see, my research is pretty high. You can see that because my drones are moving a lot faster than you're probably used to if you're just starting the game. And I can even show you I have 17 constructor drones. My movement speed is 16 meters per second. I'm not thrilled with going back to the original movement speed, but oh well, that's what you get when you start a new game. I do want to show you, my computer is trying hard to keep up. I do want to show you where my hub is for everything that's being built, and then I'm going to start a new game and post that to YouTube as well. I might look into doing Twitch. That way I'm doing it there as well as posting it on the YouTube, but look into that. I also want to do some helpful guides or how-to videos, and just getting started with the recorder and everything that's going. I am on my way to the solar system that I use most. Sorry, that's my son in the background waking up from his nap. The wife will get him. Just showing you what cluster I'm on, 87.113.307. I found that to be the best cluster because you start out at a good spot, and you also are very close to, what is this called? Capricorn Australis, which is an awesome solar system to be in. The 64 there shows the amount of stars in my solar system. You'll see that when you start a new game, you can set how many stars are in the solar system, or the galaxy, I mean. And 899 shows that I'm using infinite resources. Now, I find that more realistic, and I'll explain why. A planet, if you go to it, doesn't only have 2,000 pieces of iron ore. It's a little silly to think that. So I found infinite being, a billion or so pieces makes more sense when you think of a whole planet. Just want to show everybody here what my sphere looks like in my completed solar system. This is just the design I thought looked kind of cool. Just show you closer up. So I've got a bit of an atomic look in the middle, and big band around the outside, 94.3 gigawatts. Some of that's in the swarm, but yeah, almost 90 gigawatts just in the shell or sphere. Took a lot of work and a lot of waiting. Alright everybody, this is the outside of my giant factory planet. And boy did it take a long time. Now, what you'll see here is I have it all mapped out. This is a tidal-locked planet, which is a huge benefit, especially for a planet that's feeding the sphere. I love that, seeing that in the background there. So when I started, I just set up a logistics station on the North and South Pole, ran lines down. I just kept it on the main, I don't know what you call this, margin line or longitude, latitude line. So I kept a whole line of solar panels down one end, and then filled in at the top quite a bit. And then on the other end as well, obviously a line of these. I just tried to keep the amount of sun that I had in that spot. I could have gone a little bit more, obviously, but didn't need it. I kept it kind of the quarter of the planet that had full sun. So those solar panels are always receiving energy. A couple of stars there as well. You can see the amount that I'm actually getting is 4.5 gigawatts, and I only need 1.7, so huge amount coming in. I have my critical photons being made here. I have plenty of power getting stored up here. The receiving efficiency is 91% because it's in the sun constantly, so it's never without sunlight. It's always receiving power. I even have graviton lenses getting pushed into the ray receivers. One thing I hope they fix once this is a fully developed game, it is still in early access at the time of recording, but these sorters should go directly in, and for some reason they don't click in. You have to do a little conveyor belt system to go into it and just a sorter throwing it out. Obviously you can't just put, the conveyor belt going from here to here, because then they'll all go that way instead of continuing down the conveyor belt line. So the whole sorter issue is annoying, especially when you're first setting it up, but c'est la vie, you gotta do it. Now over here, again, more ray receivers, and up top I have my guns killing the swarm, rail ejector, and it's because they're in full sun, they're seeing the sun all the time, so they're always firing. It's kind of cool to watch just down the line, it all just firing all at the same time. Shooting all down the line like that. And I also have our vertical launch sites with plenty of rockets still there because structural points, 71,030, all filled up. So unless I want to build more to that Dyson Sphere, it's complete. This one is receiving demanding from the local planet. It's also supplying out, and that's great because if I go to another solar system and want to start building a sphere, I can just build a logistics tower, request these from remote, and build a few launch sites, and I'll be starting again. So once you get to this point, the game's pretty much over. I mean, you've got the sphere built, you can build more. One sort of downside to this game is that there's no real end. I mean, it's sandbox, you can just keep building more and more and more, but once you get to this point, to do it all over again, what's the goal? To have every sphere? There's no prize to do a sphere around every single sun, so I guess you could take down a black hole if you want. I did that in a past game as well, but I can't say it's unsatisfying. I mean, this is probably like 100 hours going into it just to set all of this up. You can see here, this might look a little funny to you. It's because I have a mod enabled. This mod allows me to stack up smelters, assemblers, and oil refineries. Now, I think that should be part of the base game, and I think they probably will. Oil refineries look a little silly being stacked up on top like that, but the assemblers and smelters definitely don't look ridiculous. It looks like that's how they should be. You can do that with the matrix slabs. You should be able to do it with these assemblers and storage too, so thankfully there's a mod for that. There's a smelter stacked up there. Helps reduce the amount of size you'll actually need. If I didn't have this, the whole planet would just be full. Now you gotta watch when you do this that you're not stacking too high, because if I had 5 or 6 of these stacked up, then these ones down here would never get enough resources to even work, so it would be redundant. If I had 5 up here and 5 up here and 5 up here, these ones would, if it was actually needing to build these, what are these called anyway? The titanium alloy, I just call them rods usually, but these titanium rods would never be built from this guy because he'd never get the raw resources to build them. So I usually just do 2, maybe 3 max if they take a long time. These ones take 12 seconds. So maybe 3 would be okay for 12 seconds there, but anything that's like, you know, anything higher than 10 seconds, maybe you could do 3. But yeah, this is all of my smelters, all of my, so it's requesting iron ore. On other planets, I just have interstellar stations with a whole bunch of miners set up, just putting iron ore in there. I don't have any smelters or anything on those planets. They're just producing iron ore and shipping them out. That way I can keep a central hub of where everything is being built, and everything's coming and going from that. Here's an example where I have 3 up top. These ones aren't receiving much, probably because I don't need a lot. They probably have plenty of titanium glass, but titanium glass takes 5 seconds to make, so yeah, I don't know why I did 3 there. I don't know if I needed to. And same thing with these, there's 4 there. I doubt that this one up top would even get any supplies, but looks like it has eventually. Yeah, 12 seconds. But everything is being produced on this planet. And the nice thing is that once you get, the assembly line started, you can leave the game. There's no enemies that are going to come, kill you. You're not going to die. So when I go to bed, I just leave this thing running and see what happens when I wake up. The worst that's going to happen is you'll have an assembly line issue where you've ran out of a product somewhere and you just have to go fix it. That fix might take 10 minutes, but in that 8 hours that you were gone from the game, you've produced so much more, of your items, or you've contributed to the sphere so much more that it's definitely worth it. So I just keep this on. This game has been running in the background of my computer for probably about a month since I found it and fell in love with it. I'm even producing my space warpers from my green cubes, because it's much better to do green cubes to space warpers here. The graviton lens, I use that in my array receivers. I don't want to waste it just on making these space warpers. So use it towards making the green cubes, and you get 8 space warpers from every green cube. So much better to do it that way. Well, that is my planet. I'm also building stuff that I need. I don't build every building, every contraption, but I definitely build the important ones. So I even have artificial suns out here going. Yeah, this is making my artificial suns. I don't need a ton of them. I mean, 1,000 is plenty. Same thing here. I'm building my antimatter fuel rods, which are the best fuel source you can get for your mech in the game. Building my assembling machines, plenty of those, 10,000. I've got setups for all of my conveyor belts. Now with each of these interstellar towers, I have them requesting space warpers. And I have them everything, even the ones with iron, I have them set up with logistic vessels. I also set up distance enable warp 1. I wouldn't recommend this early game, but once you get to this level and you have plenty of space warpers, this just makes everything faster. So if it gets further than 1 AU out from the planet to wherever it's going, even if it's within the same solar system, it'll space warp, because warpers are going to be required, and it'll just warp to that planet. So just quicker, right? But because of that, I need every station to have a request for space warpers, so it's constantly refilling this. If you don't have that, and this is what I didn't realize when I first started playing this game, that I was going over to every interstellar tower and having to replace space warpers. Not feasible when you have this many. So I have this many spots, but then the last one I always have set up that it's demanding, whether local or remote, that it's demanding these space warpers. I don't know why that's remote. It should be local demand, since they're being made on this planet. And that is my final game here. I mean, this is where I got to in this gameplay. Now I want to restart from the beginning, and there'll be videos of that coming up. I don't know if I'm going to do Let's Play where they're really long, or if I'm going to shorten them up and maybe do some tutorials. Probably both. Once I got to this point and I have all of this set up, and you're using, you have so much power, your move speed is so quick, it's going to be hard to go back to what you came from. do feel a sense of accomplishment once you look at this tech tree and go, wow, it's all done. This has been grayed out for a while. I wonder what's coming. All right, everybody, thank you for watching. I will be posting more videos of Dyson Sphere Program. Let me know in the comments if there's anything else you want to see, or maybe something you're having trouble with. I got to this point, so I mean, I have probably 1,000 hours invested into this game in different save modes, so highly recommend you post a comment there if you have a question or concern, or you want to see something in a video. Let me know. Thanks a lot for watching. We'll see you in the next one.